Good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly McElligott. I am the outreach coordinator here at Loyola Medicine's Burn Center. I'm also the president of Can't Buy Me by the Illinois Fire Safety Alliance, and I want to welcome you to the press conference to discuss the dangers of fireworks. This time of year is really busy here at the Burn Center. We definitely see an influx of injuries, but I think the thing that is the most problematic is kids are often involved. What families might think to be a harmless, fun evening at home ends up in tragedy. And so we have quite a few experts here today to talk about the dangers of fireworks and things that you should be mindful of during the 4th of July. But I think the most important is that there are so many professional shows out there, over 100 in the Chicagoland area, that will be great to take your family to for an evening of fun and celebration. I'd like to introduce Margaret Vaughn. She is the Government Affairs Director for the Illinois Fire Safety Alliance and the Illinois Firefighters Association.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Loyola for Medicine for hosting us today. It's very, very important that we get this messaging out here. People don't realize the dangerous situation they're putting their families in, and the lifelong consequences. That split-second decision to do the amateur fireworks and go down to your uncle's house, and they went over the border and they got some, and let's go down there, versus going to a professional show. It's a devastating lifetime impact. We're not talking about a sprained ankle or fractured knee. We're talking about dismemberments, third-degree burns, lacerations that the victim will have to live with every single day for the rest of their life, as well as their loved ones. And it just doesn't affect the victim, it affects their whole family. As Kelly had indicated, the majority of these injuries are to children. And so well-intended parents don't realize the horrific situation and the horrific risk they're putting their loved ones in. And again, this they don't think it's dangerous. They're not doing something like jumping out of a plane or skygliding or anything. They think it's just, they're being patriotic. But that's the furthest from the truth. There's over 100 professional shows. We've included those in the press release throughout the Chicagoland area this weekend. So we're urging you to please attend those and do not put your family at risk. According to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, while nationally fireworks injuries were down 11%, there were still 13,000 injuries nationwide, which all could have been prevented. And worse yet, the fatalities for fireworks increased by 36% last year to 15, including several in Illinois. We've been fortunate to have led the fight against any expansion of fireworks sales in Illinois. Illinois has one of the strictest laws in the nation. You might say, well, the border states sell them. Well, those border states also rank in the top 5 nationwide for injuries. And when Iowa, Missouri, and Michigan legalized them, within a year, the injuries tripled and doubled in those areas. So that's something we want to avoid. So next, I'd like to introduce, he helped the fight this year to squash any legislation to stop the expansion of fireworks sales. And that's Daniel Medina. He is the president of the Illinois Fire Inspectors Association, as well as the fire marshal for the city of Addison.
Hi, good morning. It's Dan Medina, Medina. And first, I'd like to say thank you. Amateur fireworks pose a serious risk to communities across the state. Though they may look and seem harmless, their pyrotechnic content is often very powerful, unpredictable, and can cause severe lifelong injuries and even fatalities, as we've seen this past year in Illinois. Fireworks are not harmless entertainment. They are explosive devices that pose serious risks to individuals, families, and their communities. Let me stress this again: families, individuals, and their communities. Children and young adults remain among the most valuable population. Even sparklers, often perceived as safe, can burn at temperatures exceeding 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit, capable of causing severe burns within seconds. Neighborhood fireworks also cause many house fires and property damage. This not only endangers our first responders, but also diverts resources away from other emergencies. Increase in 911 calls, increase in service calls in general, and the use of unneeded calls those nights occur. We encourage everyone to attend public firework displays conducted by professionals. These events are not only safer, but also more spectacular than anything that can be achieved with illegal fireworks done in your communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Loyola Medicine's Burn Center Regional Director, Dr. John Dubashik.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone for being here, and thank you to the Illinois Fire Safety Alliance for helping to elevate the discussion around safety during this holiday season. I want to share a warm and happy July 4th weekend to everyone. I hope everyone is able to celebrate safely, and I hope everyone takes a note from the other experts at the podium today. Safety is paramount, and there are many ways to celebrate safely this holiday. This season, we will see many, many patients with completely preventable yet devastating injuries that should not and did not need to happen. Safety around the events that we attend and participate in are relatively straightforward and simple, and leaving this to the expert is key. Earlier in the morning, we talked about sparkler injuries. Sparklers can reach 1,000 or 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a serious injury to a child or infant hand, and those injuries are ones especially we do not need to see. Sparklers are not toys and should not be taken as such and not given to little children. Again, I would like to say thank you to the Illinois Fire Safety Alliance for helping to elevate the discussion. A thank you to Loyola University Medical Center for helping to support this effort. And as always, a happy July 4th holiday. Please be safe out there.
Thank you, Doctor. In addition to the physical injuries that victims of fireworks injuries have to deal with for the rest of their life, there's also psychological. And I'm going to have Dr. Simmons, a psychologist here with Loyola, explain that.
Hello, thank you for having me today to speak about the psychological impact of both burn injuries and the symptoms that people may experience who have already suffered from a previous trauma in response to fireworks. So we know that burn injuries can be associated with high rates of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, in which people experience hyperarousal, they're on edge, they're scared of things happening again, they become avoidant, and they are limited in the activities in which they can participate. And it really creates a significant impact on both the individual who is injured and their family. So we want to make sure that we are preventing that to the extent that we can. And we do want people to celebrate 4th of July and to, of course, attend these fireworks displays that are run by professionals and celebrate the holiday. Something that we think about is that Independence Day celebrates our country and those that have served our country. Veterans are often a population that suffer from high rates of PTSD, and so ironically, we may be triggering those individuals who have fought for our country and any other survivors of traumatic injuries. With PTSD, again, people feel on edge, they may be easily startled. So things like unpredictable, chaotic, close by fireworks are much more high risk from a psychological perspective for those who suffer from PTSD. So again, we want everyone to celebrate and enjoy the time with their families, but please focus on attending the professional fireworks displays. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. In addition to folks with post-traumatic stress disorder, another segment of the population that's really negatively impacted are your pets. So with the West Loop Veterinary Care, we have Dr. Lopez to explain that.
Thank you for having me. July 4th can be very problematic for our pets. In fact, more pets go missing on this holiday than any other time of the year. So this is why, because animals, especially dogs, they can get really startled with fireworks. They can sound like explosives to them. And their fight or flight instinct kicks in, which might make them run away. They might do so by breaking from a leash. They can run out of an open door, or they might jump through a window. So it's really important for pet owners to take steps to keep your pets safe. that can look like having them indoors in a calm environment with some music or some television to muffle the sounds, having some puzzle toys to keep them distracted, walking them early in the morning and earlier at night to try to not encounter any loud noises. Having them have a longer walk for that second one to tire them out can also be helpful. Anytime they're outside, they really should be held by a responsible adult on a leash, even on your own backyard. They get so startled that an otherwise calm dog might try to jump through a fence. If they do run away, it's important that we do have identification for them. So a microchip, a collar with their name and their owner's address and phone number so they can be reunited. Cats should always be kept indoors, and I would really avoid taking dogs to any of these events that have fireworks. In general, if you already know your pet is very nervous when it comes to fireworks, I would talk to your veterinarian to come up with the best plan and see if medication might be appropriate. There are other helpful resources such as collars, calming shirts, and pheromones that could help in these situations. I would take steps now to keep them safe. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd also like to thank the Broadview Fire Department for coming out today. Fire Chief Matthew Martin is here, as well as his Deputy Chief Reyna. Next, we have the Executive Director of Camp IME, Phil Zaleski.
Thank you, Margaret. At Camp IME, where we host an annual summer camp for youth burn survivors, we see firsthand that a burn injury is far more than a physical wound, as it can leave lasting emotional scars that leave young burn survivors carry long after they left the hospital. Many of the children that we serve face years of surgery, rehabilitation, and the challenge of rebuilding their confidence and sense of normalcy. As families prepare to celebrate Independence Day, we urge everyone to remember that fireworks and even sparklers can cause life-changing injuries in a matter of seconds. The safest way to celebrate is by attending a professional fireworks display, helping ensure that the holidays create lasting memories, not lifelong scars. So as you can see, as the sparkler comes in contact with the clothing, it doesn't take much time at all for the fabric to begin reacting to the flames. As mentioned earlier, the sparklers can burn from anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 degrees, hot enough to ignite many common clothing materials almost instantly. Within just a couple seconds, you can see that the fabric begins to smolder and then ignite. And once the flame appears, it spreads rapidly across the clothing, giving the child very little time to react. At this point, you can see a child maybe reacting, starting to run, which is only going to intensify the flames by feeding it more oxygen. And without immediate intervention, the fire can quickly engulf large sections of the clothing, resulting in devastating burn injuries. These are the type of injuries that can require emergency surgery, skin grafts, months or years of rehabilitation, and leave permanent physical and emotional scars to the child and the family.